Hey, Motorman here. And if you just got a new bike, even if it's a used bike but new to you, there are some changes you should and could make. Some of them are free and some of them can cost you some money, but they're well worth it in the long run. Let's go over them right now. Now, this motorcycle is a Street Glide ST and it comes with these crash bars on the front. Now, if this bike tips over, let's say you're at a light, you put your foot down on some oil or some sand and the bike tips over, this crash bar is going to help you. Chances are it's not going to turtle, in other words, go all the way over. But if you're moving at all and the bike tips over and goes down because you release power to the rear wheel at low speeds, what's going to happen is the bike is going to go all the way over and it is going to chip and put a nick right over here on the fairing. That's going to cost you a few $100 to get fixed. So to overcome that, to prevent that from happening, get yourself a set of rear crash guards. Now, I haven't dropped a motorcycle in I think 27 years, but the first thing I did is when I left the dealership, I bought a set of rear crash guards, because if the bike tips over with the front and rear crash guards, it's not going to go all the way over. So you may get a little scratch on the bottom of the crash bars, but that should be the only damage. Without that, the bike tips all the way over, it's going to hit the fairing, it's going to break off the lever, you're going to have some expensive problems to fix. Now, the other thing, once you got those crash bars, you should get yourself a set of these. These are motorcycle drop guards, 3/8 of an inch thick steel. They go on the front and on the rear crash guard right here, and also on the primary. I'll show you that one. You could barely see it, but this is it right here. If the bike lands on the left side, especially if you're moving even at 2 or 3 miles an hour, without this, it's going to chip this, it's going to bend this. It's just aluminum, and you're probably going to start an oil leak, and it's going to cost you $500 or $600 to get these two items replaced. So I highly recommend the motorcycle drop guards. They will save you a ton of money in the long run, guaranteed. And by the way, somebody just told me that motorcycle drop guards is out of the black ones and they just have the stainless steel. Somebody sent me an email saying, it's the riding season, I just got a new bike, I need the motorcycle drop guards, but they only have the stainless steel ones. What should I do? Well, get the stainless steel ones and a can of black paint and paint them. It should take you 10 minutes. I would think it would be common sense, but sometimes common sense isn't all that common. Literally just scuff up the stainless steel ones with a little sandpaper and paint them black, and they'll match the bike perfectly, because the bike tips over, it is or could scratch these, so you don't want to have scratches on it. Keep a little black paint around and just spray them. All right, first, if the handlebars don't fit you properly, that means you're riding along after 30 minutes or so, your back starts to ache because you're leaning forward to reach the bars. Adjust the bars. On a bike like this, you got to take this bolt off right here. There's another one on the other side. This is a plastic piece. Pull that out. That'll reveal 2 of the handlebar bolts, and you loosen them, put the bars where you like, tighten them back up, and you're good to go. On this bike, you got maybe inch and a half of adjustment, and that doesn't sound like much, but it can make a major difference in comfort. If you've got your average motorcycle, you've got nothing in the way here, you could adjust the bars probably 3 or 4 inches up or down, depending on how much pullback you have on the bars. Also, the levers. If your levers, and I've seen bikes come like this from the showroom, where the levers are up too high or down too low, it just takes a few minutes. There's 3 bolts here. Adjust the Allen heads, adjust them so that you could reach it comfortably. The same thing with the clutch side, but that's free. That's a free adjustment that can make a big difference in comfort. And the next thing you should do, absolutely extremely important, get yourself a copy of my Ride Like a Pro Experience video. This is $20, folks, in DVD or download. It comes with the practice guide. If you get the download, you'll have to also download the practice guide. But this is going to change your riding life forever. Forget all the go fast stuff and the exhaust and everything else. You spent $25,000, $30,000 on a motorcycle and not a penny on learning how to ride it. That's crazy. This is going to help you. Look at some of the reviews on this video. It will change your life in a very short amount of time. Now, a lot of people say, or they call me a Harley Davidson fanboy, because, well, I've got a few Harley Davidsons, but I also happen to have a Kawasaki. So that must mean that I'm a Kawasaki fanboy also. Now, on these bikes and many of the Japanese motorcycles, especially the standards or the sport bikes, they come with 0 protection in case of a tip over. But that doesn't mean there's nothing you could do about it, because there are companies who make them. T-Rex Racing is one of them I've seen, especially for this model, and they make them for several different models. But they have frame sliders, crash guards, they have sliders that go in the rear, and they got a really good, in fact, I'll put a link to it on YouTube. It shows you if the bike tips over, you have complete and total protection. They're not cheap. I think if you got the entire package, it's $500 or $600. But if a bike like this tips over, folks, you are going to dent the tank. That's probably going to cost you $1,000. You're going to bust the mirror. You're going to bust the levers off. You're going to have scratches and dents all over everything that's not protected. And as it comes from the factory, nothing is protected. Now, especially when you buy a new bike, the chances of you dropping it, even at a simple tip over, are really good. So get that protection before that happens. And while I'm talking about crash guards, once again, I know that Harley-Davidson, as far as I know, doesn't make rear crash guards for their Softail models, but there is a company called Bung King, and I've had some of their products, their risers especially. They make great products, not cheap, but they do make rear crash guards for the Softail models, as well as the Sportster and several other different motorcycles. But go to bungking.com, tell them I sent you. They're probably not going to take any money off, but you could at least say, hey, Motorman sent me. That might help you. I can't guarantee that. But these are just some things you should do immediately. Forget about the go fast stuff. What's the difference how fast you go if you don't know how to ride the freaking motorcycle? Come on, folks. Get a copy of the Ride Like a Pro Experience video. It's going to change your life. It's only $20. You have the other adjustments I said you can make that's not going to cost you anything, but you need those crash guards. That is the first thing I tell people to get. And if you don't have front and rear, make sure you get the rear also. A lot of the bikes come now just with front crash bars. That helps a little bit. The rear crash bar helps completely. The only thing that could happen is scratches on the bottom, and that's why the motorcycle drop guards take care of that. All right, till next time.